I know you don't usually see this entire shelf because when I'm sitting, like, I cover it, you know, with myself. But this is my Valeria shelf. We have Valeria Card Kingdoms. We have Margraves of Valeria. There's also Guild Academies, Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. There's some small Valeria games over there because they don't fit over here. But there's intentionally one space left, and in the past videos you could see that like the game is missing, and it's actually not missing. It was by design because I finally got a chance to fill that shelf up with Castellans. And Castellans, they are not Castellans of Valeria. They are just Castellans Valeria Universe of Games. So this is, I think, one of the first games that don't have of Valeria in the title, but nevertheless, it's a new game from Daily Magic Games, and I want to show it to you. I want to show you how it looks because the production on this one is absolutely gorgeous. I don't think this is like a Kickstarter version or anything, but the production is like Kickstarter top notch. You know, one thing I absolutely loved about this game is that it has no nothing to be punched. I know punching the boards, you know, tokens and everything, it can be fun, but I knew that this game comes with a lot of components, and I thought sorting these components is going to be hell, but it actually wasn't because they all come pre-sorted, which is awesome. Okay, so first of all we have the rulebook, and I think it's the thickest rulebook so far in Valeria games, and explains you all the components, of course, setup and everything. But actually, the rulebook is pretty easy. The game looks way more complicated than it is. When it arrived, I thought to myself, "Oh my God, what did I get myself into?" But then I started reading through rules. I just breezed through them because they're such an easy read. And there's also like a huge solo rules. There's all kinds of like different characters that you can play against. I haven't delved into this yet. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little bit scared. I haven't, as I said, went through it. I don't know how much of the upkeep is there, but I'll definitely check it out. So yeah, the rulebook looks complicated, looks thick. It really isn't. And of course, not of course, and also you get the entire lore of the Kosk, the Chronicles of Kosk, and all of the races, all of the different districts, everything is explained here, of course, with the appropriate artwork and everything. I read a little bit through it. I haven't still read all the way through it, but it's really interesting read. I like that they included this. It's just a little bit of added content that doesn't hurt anyone and just gives you a little bit more of immersion into the game if you are into stuff like that. The board itself, it's not like super big, but there's like a lot. And oh my God, it doesn't. Okay, so the board, not the black side. It's not the dark. So this is the board itself. And in this game, what you are going to do is you are going to battle for these districts. These districts with the majority, you know, this is like an area control thing going on. And you will be battling for these districts. Over here you will push on these tracks, you know, to earn some extra points with different houses by the end of the game. And there's 5 rounds, and in each round you will score some of the districts. It tells you with these gray lines over here. So for example, in a after the game 1 is completed, you will score these 3 districts, then these 3, then the top 3, down 3, and then when the round 5 is over, you will score the entire board. So you will constantly get points in this game, and you will try to outscore your opponents. All of you will get one of these boards, and they are double layer board, which is really awesome. They're all the same. You know, there's no like color depiction differences because they're all the same. The components are different colors, so that's how you're gonna know what is yours. So basically all of the buildings, all of the stuff that you can put on a board will be up over here, and over here, down here, you will track your resources. There's some buildings over here, and this game is like a dice drafting area control because you will use those dice when you draft them to get some resources, and then you will use those dices also to activate different things on the board and build those buildings or ships or put some people on the board, you know, stuff like that. And each player will get components in their own color nicely. This comes like this. So as I said, absolutely stellar production, and each player will get one of these. There's of course 5 players, and what they included in this game is really awesome is these mini rules, because these mini rule books actually help you out a lot, so you don't have to like flip through big one. You can find a lot of explanations. If you need like more clarifications, you can take the big one, but this little one really helps you out because there's lots of different actions going on in this game. There's a lot of iconography, but everything is really nicely laid out here, and I really liked it. Components by themselves are really nice. You know, they are like a 3D wooden components with the screen printed like artwork on them. Let me just close them up a little bit for you just to see it. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous components, and you will use mostly all of these to put them on a board and try to get the majority when the scoring happens. Try to get, you know, the majority of the points, because the points are awarded for the first 3 places. You know, so if you're playing 4 or 5 player games, the 4th and the 5th player will get nothing. Next thing we have here is these cards, which are used in a solo game. As I said, I haven't played this one yet. I'm not sure how they are working. I haven't read through them. I will eventually, maybe even film a gameplay video. But right now you have these characters. These are double-sided, and they are guided by these things. They will do these things throughout the game. So I guess that's how you, you know, and this is everything explains you how you use them and all that. There's all kinds of different components here if you play solo or if you play with less than 5 players, you know, to add to the board, stuff like that, first player token and all that. And you get a bunch of dice, and all the dice are the same. And when the game starts, you will roll 3 dice for each player and then 3 more, so depending on how many players is playing. There's also this green die. This is like for solo play, or if you want to include, you can even include these players, like these guys. You can even include them in your game with the normal players if you want. Like if you are playing 2-player game and you really want to play like a 3 or 4-player game, you can include these 2 guys easily, and some of their actions is controlled with this really nicely green dice, however you call it. And then we have these dice, which just you will roll them, and once you draft them, you will get depicted resources. And this is where the beauty of the game comes. So let me just take out one board to show you. So for example, when you are activating actions, and let's say for example you have this dice that shows like a wood component, that a wood resource, and if you use this dice, you put it over here and you say you will activate this action that lets you build one of these manors, you will get an extra resources. If you use a wood die, you will get an extra resource for the wood, which is absolutely awesome. I really liked it. So drafting, sometimes you want to draft stuff because you want, you know, that resource because you are maybe lacking wood or food or stone. But at the same time, you have to be mindful what type of actions do you want to activate on this turn, because you really want to hit these extra stuff. So, you know, sometimes you need to like, you need to decide, okay, this time I will not get extra stuff, but I really need these resources because I really need to play this. And that's something that I really like about this game. There's also a bunch of characters that you can acquire throughout the game. They will give you some benefits, of course. The standard artwork for Valeria games is absolutely gorgeous, and you know all about those because if you play Valeria games like I do, you already saw some of these characters maybe, and you like Cleric, you maybe recognize them from other games. I like the consistency with Valeria games. That's something I really like. One way also to score points is by these rafts. Basically, this will tell you what you are scoring, and you will just flip this card and put it like so, and then it will tell you what type of resources it will buy from you, or you can sell to the market to score some points or get some tokens and all that. And basically that's all the components, that's everything. And as I said, the gameplay itself, I absolutely loved this game. Castellans looks so complicated at first, but it's such an easy game to explain. The actions, as there's a lot of actions in here, there's a lot of like a secondary actions that you can do, but they're really clearly and nicely explained on these boards. You know, it's super easy to see. Like, you want to build a manor, okay, you can build a manor, spend the dice. If the dice shows a wooden plank, you get +1 wood. Actually, you get an extra resource for that action. You know, that dice also counts as a resource, so you have to spend less over here. And then you build it, and once you build it, it will give you some advantages or something in the next rounds when it will give you some influence on some of those tracks that are mainly where you're going to score lots of points at the end of the game. You know, if you are pushing these houses, you can get a lot of points that way. But yeah, the scoring each round, either different district scores, but you know that at one point the all districts will score, or you can set yourself up. For example, everybody will of course want to like score on a first three districts in a first round. You can maybe disregard that a little bit, not push that much into that, but you can always like reassure yourself to be able to score better for the next rounds, because some buildings go between the districts and they score depending what is on the one and the other district, with what they are bordering, what's left and right, and they will score. So you can set yourself up for the future turn. With more plays, there's more tactics and everything that you understand to go on in here. You can go manor heavy to unlock all of these extra potential for scoring. Or you can go with the pagodas. I call them the pagodas, they are temples, but they look like pagoda to me, so I call them pagodas. It's like a thing of mine. So you can go with these temples. Temples will give you a huge boost on those tracks, depending where you build them. And if you build the pagoda scoring monument, this one also scores for pagoda in this district, so you can like set yourself up for better scoring, and maybe take advantage a little bit of other players when they're playing the game. You know, you take the advantage of what they're doing. You can put your ships, you know, to score some points, or if you see that they're putting ships, you can put your harbor. I mean, not harbor. Jesus, I constantly calling the buildings wrong in this game. But yeah, you can put your lighthouse in a district where they have a lot of ships, and then you score points based on their ships. Even though they get influence from those ships, you still get points for those ships because of your lighthouse. And it's constant back and forth. The game is very dynamic. The game goes really fast. It looks like it will be a long game, but it's not that long. I mean, it takes some time. Of course, it's 5 rounds. But still, you just draft 3 dice, play those 3 dice. The round is over. Score the points for the districts. Next round. Next player goes first, rolls the dice, and you just repeat that 5 times. It's awesome. It's really Margraves is still my favorite Valeria game, but this one is definitely close second, just because there's so many different routes to go, so many different ways to score the points. And even though I'm not that much into the conflict games, but this constantly back and forth, trying to outsmart others, outwin them in the majority, you know, so to score more points, or to know when to give up when you see that one player is really pushing, and if you start pushing, you are both going to lose. So you just leave them and try something else, because there's also always viable options to do something else, you know, for the future rounds. It's awesome. Definitely check out if you like Valeria games like I do. To be honest, I haven't played all of the Valeria games, but this is a close second, almost like number 1 Valeria game for me. Daily Magic Games pushes out hit after hit for me. I don't know when they are going to make a game that will be missed. As I said, I haven't played, I think, 2 or 3 their games, the smaller ones from the past when they were just starting with these Valeria games and all that. But I'll definitely will, because so far, I don't know, they just didn't miss. The Valeria games are awesome. Castellans is awesome. Everything about this game is awesome. The components, the quality of the components of the build of the game, the gameplay. I just can't say any more praise that I'm saying right now. I am actually repeating myself constantly. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Margraves is still by far not by far, that's wrong thing to say. Margraves is still my favorite game, but this one might take it over with more plays. So yeah, that is that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon, all of that. If you are not, please consider doing so. You know, it would help me out a lot, because all of the money I earn over there, I just pour back into the channel. For example, after almost 5 years of having Patreon, we finally have 4K views, you know, 4K videos, which is really awesome. And yeah, that is that. Thank you all for watching, and until next time. Pozdrav. I really like Valeria games, and I was hoping... Here, I know you don't see it usually, because, you know, when I'm sitting, I like cover it with my huge body. With my huge body. What a stupid intro. Self-awareness, one-on-one.